How we doing today? Let me see. Let me push that back a little bit. I said mush that back. All right. I hope you had a good weekend. And I hope everybody's having a great start day or the afternoon or evening, whatever the case may be, whenever you're tuning in and jamming out with us. Hope you're all well. And I did not check this. There we go. All right. Make sure my audio. I'm getting it together. We are pretty deep into the number of episodes we have, or yeah, is that what I call them? Episodes that we've been doing here. And I apologize for the delay. Trying to log in today was a task in itself. All right, so let's get this going. We're going to talk about how far can we go, and that's in mastering ourselves. So, what's our life's work? Have we ever considered what it would be like to master a skill that has always captivated our imagination? It might seem far-fetched, but the idea of mastering oneself can be an exciting and fulfilling endeavor. We may think that such a goal isn't possible because there are so many variables in life, and the odds are against us giving maximal effort each day. But when we find something worth doing, it is worthwhile to see how far we can go. So do you have something right now in your life that you're thinking, I do want to see how far I can take this. I want to see how far I can go. If you do, what is it? And let us know in the chat as usual, right? We want to see what that is and how things are working out for you. Let us know. For me right now, it's a couple different things as usual. I lack the ability to only have one area that I'm focusing on. I think I actually mentioned that in this podcast today. But for me, it's one, being the best husband I could be, right? Those are obvious. Being the best dad I could be, best parent. And then we got, how can I be an even better business owner? Business manager. How can I be better at that? How can I be a better coach? So it's just, again, still all based around personal development. I want to be the best version of myself, but inside of there, I have a couple areas that I want to be able to focus on. So what are some areas for you that you want to be focused on, that you want to get better and increase your abilities, I guess, so to speak? What is that for you? Let us know in the chat. All right, we were limited by our own, or we are limited by our own imagination. We can be anything we want to be if that's what we set ourselves up for. And I got a couple strategies that we can focus on. And what I tell the kids all the time is you can be absolutely anything that you want to be, right? Again, within reason. And I always say that because I got to throw that in there because somebody will say something crazy. But anyways, you can be anything that you want to be if you first believe it, and then second, put in maximum effort in order to get there. You have to be willing to put everything on the line in order for you to get to that destination, to that outcome. And that's how we're capable of getting there. Number one, we got goal setting. It's important to have both long-term and short-term goals. Short-term goals are the pathway towards achieving your long-term ambitions. So thinking about what we want in a year or two is not enough. The daily tasks we complete can make small steps towards our big dreams, which means that it pays off more than ever before to focus on those smaller things each day. Set some achievable targets today, as well as set up plans for tomorrow. Just don't forget about either set of milestones. So we all have this great, or hopefully we all have this great ambition, dream, passion that we're chasing, right? That's over here. And currently we're over here. And this is something we touched on last week. We touched on the week prior to that and the week prior to that. It's How do we now get there? And are we going to have manageable steps in order to get there? And that's something that we need to do there, is make sure that we do have those steps in place in order to reach our target destination. I messed with this iPad because I got 10% back on it. All right, so how are we going to get there? Are you going to do the daily work necessary in order to get there, in order to achieve those goals? A lot of us don't want to do the daily work, and that is a grind. It is a daily grind that I don't even enjoy. It's not something that I often look forward to when that daily grind that I know is coming up has to do with something that I'm not so good at, or that takes so much effort to get there, or it's just at the beginning and you have to use that rocket blast off energy, right? Where you're using all of your energy just to get to a certain point. And that's something that not oftentimes is something I enjoy. Second is become who you need to be. So this one is important. To be the best painter we can, it's necessary to become a person that values creativity. We must also have the courage to show our work at all times so others may critique us. So who is it that we need to become in order to get to where we want to be? Who is that for you? What is that person? And what does that person look like for you? How much do you need to evolve? How much do you need to change in order to get to that final destination? What is that for you? And that's something that we have to look at. That's something that we have to think about. And hopefully you do know what that is for you. And now you put those steps in place, and now you're getting that much closer. All right. And then right after that, I was going to actually go into it, is remember, our progress comes quickly at first, and then it kind of slows down, right? So what that means is after a year of practicing anything new for several hours each day, we're significantly better than we were on day one. But more than likely, we will not see the same significant jump in years 2 or 3 as our skills become mastered and focus begins to fade a little bit. So where is that, and what area is that? Where we're continuing to take the progressive daily approach to getting things done. And are we going to be able to remain focused and have that energy, that same gusto, when our progress is slowed because the skills are becoming a little more simplified for us? And are we continuing to learn and grow and develop from there, because now those skills are mastered and we're going to have to get another set of skills in order to continue to take those steps to where we're trying to get to? So that focus is, we have to have a lot of tasks, or when we have a lot of tasks that need to get done, it can be easy to put all of our energy into them. But if we try and do everything at once, the quality of each task will suffer dramatically. If you want to our achievements in life to really matter, then time is an essential resource. There's only so much left before things go wrong for everyone involved, or even worse, right, when things are getting better for us, right? So we have to remain focused. There's going to be things that come along our way, come in our path, that cause us to lose a little bit of focus. And then there's going to be things that are added to our plate that are going to take away from that focus that we had at that particular time. So what is that? And can we recognize it? And can we understand, okay, I'm going to have to put X amount of time into this. I'm going to have to put X amount of time into this over here. But while I'm doing either task, I know I need to put all of my focus and all of my effort into that one task. There's no way that we can bounce back and forth and be able to deliver get the results that we actually need, that are going to be able to push us and catapult us forward, if we're continuing to split our focus up half the time or a quarter of the time, because we got 4 different things that we have going on. We keep jumping over here from A to B to C to D, and then from A to C and then B to D. We have to be able to stay focused on A, finish task A, get it done to the best of our abilities, and then move on to task B, and so on and so forth. And that's how we're able to get those, keep that focus and remain in a position to be able to give 100% effort as we continue to move and strive forward. All right. Daily practice is our final area that we're going to talk about today. How to be the best at what we do. The secret is in the regular, intentional practice. It must become an integral part of our life. And there are 2 ways that this can happen. find a mentor or a support group, and stay focused and diligent until it becomes second nature. This is one area that I'm trying to work with our son on right now. Is he wants to be good at something, but he doesn't want to do all of the necessary things that come along with being good or improving. And that's daily work, that's daily practice, that's being on top of it as often as you possibly can. And that's how we improve, is we have to put the work in every single day, And that's something that, and again, you can have the days off. Somebody's probably on here like 7 days a week, but that's something that I talk about with this podcast, is having the ability to get on here and put something together, put the plan together. What are we going to discuss? How are we going to discuss it? Can we get into more detail and get into more depth? What is that for us, and how is that going to work out? And how is that going to benefit the listener, the listener, the person watching? How is that going to benefit them, and how can I put it and present it in a way that's going to keep them engaged and also fire them up at the same time to get them to go out there and do the things that we are discussing? So for me, it is that daily practice of doing the research, watching others do their podcasts. How are they approaching things? How are they putting out that information? What are they doing afterwards? How are they doing the follow-ups? Right? So that's something that I try to do here, is constantly try to continue to encourage everybody around to bring in, get involved, and put your own life experiences into the discussion that we're doing today. That's why we ask for community engagement and constantly asking for you to like, share, follow, and subscribe, so that you put what you have in your life going on into what we're discussing. And now we can be able to bounce ideas off of one another, and we can help each other improve. And that's what we're trying to do here, right? And on top of that is, now it's back to, once we're able to bounce ideas off each other, are we going to be able to do that on a daily basis and to continue to push ourselves and get better at those areas that we need to? So in closing, reaching our full potential in the literal sense might not be what we want, but it is possible. We should consider all of our responsibilities before deciding to take this route, though. The option exists for us to reach our true potential and grow as a person outside the societal expectations that have been placed on us by society standards, or even by those of our family and our friends. We have that capability. This is the message that is delivered daily on the podcast, is that you have that potential. You have what you need inside of you, but you just have to believe it and want to be able to pursue it. Whether you want to reach your full potential or just enhance your expertise in one aspect of life, the solution is always within doing the work, right? The only difference between reaching that goal and enhancing the skill set already exists lies solely within how much effort we are willing to put into it. So are we willing to wake up or arrive, or whatever it is, 30 minutes earlier? Are we willing to stay and study and push other things back another half hour? That gives us an extra hour in the day. So what is that for you, and what is that going to take? Everybody's situation is going to be a little bit different, but at the end of the day, we all know that it just requires that much more work. It requires us to be willing to put that extra effort in. It requires us to do that work. And again, believe it, but at the same time, it's all about being better than yesterday. So that's what we can focus on, is, are we doing what we can to be better than we were the day before? There's going to be some days that drag on and are a little worse than other days, but that's okay. But we have to continue, boom, 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 trudging along. You guys can do it. I believe in you. We will crush this. We will continue to be better. And hopefully through this podcast and community, we will continue to be better together. So I appreciate you guys jumping on. Short and sweet today. Tomorrow, same time, same place. Before you go, like, share, subscribe, follow, so we can continue to grow this community. As always, be better than yesterday, and I'll see you.